So I pledged to find and kill every unique boss in Elden Ring, but after a 4-hour stream, I can't even find pants, which led someone to call me the Pantsu Goblin, and honestly, I kind of wish I called my character that. I am the maidenless one, come on. Welcome back, Classy Crew, to a new journey where we explore Elden Ring trying to find this man some pants, and so far, we are not victorious. However, I did slay my first 3 bosses, and so this pledge is off to a good start. Let me tell you what happened in day 1, because a lot of stuff happened in my first stream. The first difficult choice was picking my class. Now, I was going into this, I wasn't really aware of all the classes available in the game. Turns out there's 10. I knew about the samurai. I was like, it's going to be very hard for me to resist the samurai. As you can probably see by my samurai Gundam back there. I was looking at the stats. I knew I liked dexterity. I wanted to experiment with magic, so I needed dexterity and intelligence. And there were 3 classes that spoke to me. It was prisoner, but it was really ugly. Samurai and warrior, more than I expected. I was like, what am I gonna do? There's so many things, they all look so cool. But then the thing that made me go, aha, I know what I'm gonna do. Everybody said, oh, you can get samurai armor in the game. You can get any armor you want in the game. I was like, oh, then who cares what my starting class is? Let's go with the naked boy and start from level 1, the wretch, the lowest level, and let me just customize my build all the way through. I feel extremely comfortable doing this after my last few pledges in the Soulsborne games, so I was very excited to start from ground zero and building up my character however I wanted. Now, unfortunately, I wanted to build something, like I wanted to build a really unique character that I could put on thumbnails and be like, that is Hey Jay's boy right there. And somehow I ended up making a 70s porn star. So we ended up with this guy. I can't say I like him, but it's a good start. Hopefully I can change him later on. I'm not very proud of what I've created. We'll call him Porn Man for now. So the story started. We've got like some, I didn't realize the ring, the Elden Ring, I guess, has broken, and it's actually shards that we're after, from what I understand. In the most simplified version of the game, I think we're looking for shards. But honestly, I'm not playing this game so much for the story as much as for the gameplay. And I just have to say the gameplay has been fantastic. This game's amazing. It took what I loved about Dark Souls 3 and it pushed it more into the region that I like. And now we can jump, and jumping is a valid mechanic. Not only is it valid, I've heard it's even a meta. So a lot of the times I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Am I rolling this way? Oh, we got to jump, because now you can jump and attack, which sometimes removes the shield or does more damage. So jumping is a whole addition to everything. Everything feels just faster, more fluid. It reminds me though more Dark Souls 3 than say Bloodborne. So I'm back into my, if we had a chart, Dark Souls is at the bottom. Dark Souls 3 like made me go up. Bloodborne kind of a dip, but Elden Ring continues that trend of like Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring. We're going up in the I like it chart. Eventually, we might be into the I love it range. So the first death of the night went to our good old friend Gravity, which was horrendously embarrassing. I really thought I was going to die to a boss first, with all these credentials, all these hours under my belt. But nope, I got curious and I started exploring a ledge and I fell. And then after that, kept exploring, found our first boss of the night, which was Grafted Scion. I was like, all right, let's warm up. Let's figure out the controls. I completely forgot what the roll button was, and he promptly thrusted his weapon through my entire body. Now, I don't know if you can even fight this thing or if it's insta-permadeath, but I put up a very poor fight against them. So that was not a good start. So then we get into the area where it's like, oh, you can go to the tutorial. I was like, we don't need a tutorial. We know how to play this. But the whole chat's like, no, there's a boss in there. You got to go fight the boss because it's part of your pledge. I was like, all right, I guess we'll do that. But I don't need the tutorial. So down we went. And there I met Soldier of Godric. And remember, at this point, I'm still a naked little boy of level 1 with a little club. This fight, though, was pretty easy. There's nothing really memorable other than I learned how to jump and bunk, which was quite fun. And then we went out into the open world where everything was just so beautiful. Like the darkness was gone. We have beautiful trees, beautiful skies, grass, so much grass. It's so nice to see grass again. And it gave me that similar feeling of when Link runs out on Breath of the Wild and you see the world. Very similar. I'm just like, oh my god, this is a world for me to explore. It's all there. And there's a guy by the fire. I'm like, yep, gotta talk to this guy. And then there's like a golden dude on a horse. I was like, all right, we're gonna go pay this guy a visit. He's clearly there as a challenge. I could already tell, I'm like, nah, they put a hard dude here, but I'm a veteran of the series now. I can take this guy on. So the first thing I did was I took on the Tree Sentinel after some very light exploring in the area. And I got the first bonk. I jumped him. I dodged. I rolled through his axe. I was like, I got this. If I got all those other hard bosses in all the other games, I can do it. So I had a few things going against me. I was naked and I was level 1. So after 3 or 4 attempts, I realized I could probably do this, but this would be like a 1 to 2 hour endeavor of practice learning the moves, just like I've done in all the other things. And I was like, I don't want to do this right now because there's so much to explore. So we're going to come back to this guy. So off I go. I'm running around naked in the field, and I make it to my first dungeon. Now I was a little bit worried at this point because I was really hoping I would find a way to level up before I made it to my first dungeon, or honestly, I was hoping to find some piece of clothing. I was told that clothing is all throughout the world, and I was honestly expecting to stumble across something, anything that would cover my poor little boy's butt. But we found nothing. And so I went through this whole dungeon with little imps that remind me of the little imps from Dark Souls 3 that I hated. Yeah, they're the same thing here, and I hate them too. But it was a good first dungeon, some good puzzles. I died a few times, made it to the boss, which was an Erdtree Burial Watchdog. And I have to say, this was probably one of the highlights of my night. This boss gave me an adrenaline rush. It's a fairly simple boss when you look at it. It telegraphs way in advance. But the fact that I was naked level 1 with a short bonker made the fight just as intense as other more difficult fights as I've had in the past. And so I fought 2-3 times and I learned the pattern, but even when I knew the pattern, I had to get the timing right, and pretty much messing up once meant I was dead, or twice. I could take 2 hits from this thing. But I persevered and I killed it, and it felt amazing. I was like, all right, let's do this. I'm excited. Unfortunately, it did not drop a weapon or some clothes, so off we went, skirting into the woods once again with my butt. So in the forest, there were more knights like hiding around, guarding. I was like just sneaking up behind them, bonking them, being like, "You got pants? Can I take your pants?" No pants. So I kept exploring, found an outpost, which was really interesting, but I'm like, I am not exploring this outpost with no clothes and a little bonker anymore. I'm over this. It's time. I'm 2-3 hours in. I need to get some clothes on this. So I went and I followed the path of the yellow light, and there I got a horse. I met a lady who's missing an eye, who honestly looks pretty okay. Like when we go to Soulsborne standards, she's probably the fairest thing I've ever seen in this series. And she gave me a horse, and she's like, "Yeah, take me to the roots." I was like, "I'll totally take you to the roots. You look very trustworthy," and she does. And so she is. I'm told I'm still maidenless, but I don't understand, because to me she's a maiden, and she is now with me, therefore making me maiden full. So I don't know. Am I maiden full or am I maidenless? Apparently I'm still maidenless. I don't even know what that means. So from there, I got a horse, and I think I did actually. Yes, I did go through the encampment. I started exploring, and it's actually through the encampment that I found a nice shirt, which has some nice flaps that cover my thighs a little bit, but it's still drafty because I got no pants. I also came across an amazing sword, which is so much better than my little bonker. And that thing allows me to reach my enemies more proper. So I completely scavenged this thing. I got my first map, which was amazing. I'm like, oh, now I can see, I got to find maps now. This is like a thing I got to do. I can actually fight decently and actually kill guys in 1 or 2 hits. And I've got some level of clothing on me. And I met the lady who now lets me, I don't think I touch her darkness, but I do something that lets me level up. So I think I made it all the way to level 5, 6, 7. And in that camp, I also got my Stomp. So Storm of Stomp or Stomp of Storm. And now I'm ready to go. I've kind of reached the first echelon of this ladder. So I explored the area. I was like, oh yeah, there was this cave that I wanted to go check earlier, but I didn't want to go check while I was naked. So I go back there, and there was a bunch of wolves, and I killed all the wolves because now I got a sword. And I came across my third boss of the night, which was the Beastman of Farum Azula. Honestly, this boy was a pushover. All I had to do, he comes at me, I stomp the ground, whack, whack. Stomp the ground, whack, whack. He was done. He wasn't much of a challenge. So after that, I was going to go and explore all around the lake, but somebody pointed out that I bought a recipe or something that says go north of the woods to the 3rd church or something. So I did that. And that took me to the third church of Marika, where I got the Flask of Wondrous Physique. I'm not quite sure what this does, but my porn boy is probably going to enjoy it. And then I was making my way back down to go and finish doing my circle of the lake. But before that, I came across this like elevator, which took me down into this underground world. I am so off track at this point, and the enemies, they're not very aggressive. They're kind of tame. I'm not doing a lot of damage on them, so I'm avoiding them because they're very hard to kill. I don't even think I've killed one. And I've just been using my horse and like weaving my way through, and they seem to be letting me, which is very strange for a Soulsborne-like game. And I've made it to a point where there's a moose. There's a dead moose on an altar. It looks like an altar. And it looks like there are 8 torches, and I found that I can start lighting some up. So I think I got 4 torches lit. And there's some dudes in the area which are like shooting things at me, and they hit hard. I think it's 1 or 2 hits and I'm dead. So this feels like I'm I'm super underleveled for this area. And then I went through a bridge. I jumped and like platformed my way, and there's this very ominous figure just standing on a bridge outside my reach. And I'm like, who is that? And how do I get there? So everybody was all making like ooh ah sounds in the chat. So I assumed the knight or the silhouette, whatever it looks like a knight, is probably a fun fight, but I can't get to it. So I made my way back, and in the most like weirdest stumble, I fell, screamed, but like I didn't fall, and I just was clutching to the edge. And through 3-4 good luck, bad luck things, I've ended up on another platform, which gave me, I think, my first range weapon, but I'm not using it at this point. So I left the game because I ran out of time in that area. I was just actually having fun trying to find the torches, just avoiding everything because everything can kill me so fast. And I was trying to light the torches, and I don't think I'm going to keep going that route because I'm like, well, what's going to happen? This moose is probably going to come to life, and I'm going to be so underleveled. I'm still in single-digit levels. It's going to be hard to kill it anyway. So I might as well go back to my original early area of land, finish seeing what's on the right side of the lake. Once I'm done that, I'm going to go back on the path, which takes me into like a castle ruin area, which there's just so many interesting things to look at. I just want to keep exploring. And I was kind of upset that 4 hours had gone by so fast because I just wanted to keep playing this game because I was just pulled into it. I was sucked into this world, and I wanted to keep exploring and being like, what's that? What's going on over here? What you're rewarded with, like what I got in that encampment was so rewarding. I want to go find other encampments. I want to kill more things to get stronger, to explore more things. Oh, this is what I like about open world games. It's the stuff I like. It's one of my favorite genre. And the fact that they've taken something that I was enjoying in Dark Souls 3, for example, and just been improving that, I just want to keep playing this. We're off to a strong start. I knew I was going to like this game, but I might actually end up loving it. So I'm so like craving the challenge. I'm just like, oh, I can take this on. Oh, I can take this on. Let's go in with a handicap. Yeah, so this should be a fun adventure. It's a good first 4 hours. Looking forward to the second stream. So I'll see you maybe on stream or during the next journal. And until next time, keep it classy. Do 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 do. Subscribe.